Magandang umaga po. Good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Nick Sanchez. I have a research grant entitled to Join Me, a Filipino senior citizen toward the new normal, a mixed method study. This research is funded by the Australian Research Grant. I have with me right now a well-known Filipino academic, an expert in knowledge management and in technology, Dr. Serafin Talisayon. Doc, let me ask you first, ask for your consent that you voluntarily participate in this research. And is it okay for you to record this one and use our recording in our research dissemination?
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Talisayon, please briefly introduce yourself and your background and your age.
I am 78 years old as of yesterday. I am a retired professor from the University of the Philippines. I have other experiences. Between 1991 and 1998, I took a leave from the university to accept a position in the Philippine government working under President Fidel V. Ramos. After 1998, I came back to the academe, and I was a little bit disappointed because my colleagues were fighting over very small things. They think that their job is done when they have written a paper, they published or had an invitation at an international conference. And I said, this is not the end point. A published paper is not the end point.
Correct.
The end point is when somebody out there got a job or was healed from a sickness, things like those. So I went into and started an NGO. That was 1998, and then that NGO went into knowledge management.
Okay.
And I have been in that area for the last more than 2 decades.
Yes.
Okay, my background, before I answer your first question on the new normal, give me a few minutes to introduce an experience that I had in 1987, which will tell the listeners or the people watching this video where I'm coming from.
Yes.
In 1987, in the 1980s, I was in my 40s. Suddenly, I had so many illnesses: allergic rhinitis, arrhythmia, asthma, skip beats, and so on. I thought I'll be dying. You know, when you are dying and you know your life is ending, there are many things that you ask in your mind that you never asked before. And what was important suddenly is no longer important. And vice versa. It was a very difficult period for me until in 1987, I made a decision that I have been postponing for a long, long time. And that is total surrender. Total surrender to God.
Yes.
You know, I'm not a churchgoer. But I said, you know, if it's time for me to go, I will go. It's no longer my will, it is your will. In effect, I was talking to God. I was talking to Jesus. You know, I'm a Christian, a nominal Christian. I was talking to him. But if there are still things for me to do, I will stay. It's no longer my choice. It's yours. The following morning, early in the morning, I was still half awake, half asleep. Maybe around 5 o'clock in the morning. I had a very, very vivid dream. Very clear, as if right now, you know, I look at you and we are here in the room. I was sitting on a very long table near the end. And there were people standing around watching me. But next to me, at the head of the table, is JC, Jesus Christ. or Yeshua.
Yes.
I was so happy, and yet I was so humble. I do not want to look at him directly. Anyway, in a short while, there was a lady from the far end approaching us. She was carrying a big dish, very big dish, a circular dish, a plate. And then she was walking towards us, and then she placed the plate in front on the table. And on the plate was a kind of a Valentine, very thin. No, I thought to myself, this looks like a biscuit. It's very thin, like a Valentine. Yeshua picked it up, gave it to me, and I accepted it. And then I woke up. You know what? All my diseases were gone. When I saw my doctor, he was so surprised. He was so happy. He showed me my EKG. It's very clean and so on. But I was not telling him anything. Eventually, I stopped seeing him. I threw away all my expensive medicines. But from then on, I said, that means I have a life mission to fulfill. What is it? Anyway, there was a call from my former boss, General Jose Almonte.
Yeah.
Apin, we need you. Come here, see me. That was the start of my relationship with President Fidel Ramos. Well, he was not yet president then. He was chief of staff. And, I took a leave without pay from the university in order to join the campaign. And we won. And I was back in the university, but I was hardly there for a few days, and I was recalled. I was given more work. Anyway, so since then, my life is a series of life missions. And my problem is this, Nick,
Yes.
or Nick or Nick Camille.
Nick na lang, Doc.
Nick. Okay, this is my problem, Nick. What is my next life mission?
Yeah.
How do I know? So I have to develop my own method. Every time, it can be a big thing, like working for a future president for 1 decade, and there could be small life missions inside the big mission. So that's where I'm coming from. And let me answer your first question.
Yes, Doc.
There are many ways that I discern what I need to do. Because when I have nothing more to do, I'll go. I'm ready to go anytime. No? I'm not afraid of death. But to be honest with you, I am afraid of a painful death. I pray that I won't go through that. But, I have been ready to go since 1987. And it's been more than 3 decades ago. So this is a life extension. This is a plus already.
Yeah.
I was ready to go then, but now I'm still alive. So it's a gift. It's an extension.
Correct. I think you have a new life mission right now, Doc.
Yes. So back to the first question.
Yes, Doc. Yeah, I just wanted to
Yes.
Given your life mission, I think as one of the role model of successful aging in the Philippines.
Yes. Okay. So around March last year, when the pandemic was really globally well known, because the pandemic started January, people are dying already, February. March, the Philippine government declared quarantine nationwide. I continue to teach in the university part-time. I got emails from students. They were depressed. They were afraid. They were scared. They're confused. They don't know what to do. I got those very honest emails, and I said, oh boy, what can I do? So I was not very active in Facebook. So I went to Facebook and I put a series of posts on how to manage fear, because I have developed my own system for managing fear. And that started another series on how to boost your immune system, and so on and so on and so on. Eventually, from March up to December, I was able to have a series of advice or experiences that people can learn from, and I put it into an ebook. The title of the ebook is Helping Bring About a New Earth.
Is it available online, Doc?
It is available for free. I will give you the link in the chat window anytime. So I knew that was one of my mini life missions. I have to help people during this pandemic. But your question is the new normal.
Yeah.
Around March, that was around March when I started this ebook. It came out January. Last January, it came out. And it's free. It's distributed for free by my company. Because my company is a social enterprise.
Yes, yes.
It makes money. At the same time, it gives public service. Okay. Around June, I had a dream. You know, I get my discernment through many methods. One of them is through dreams. And I know if a dream is a message for me. And sometimes the message is what to do. And sometimes the message is what to stop doing. you know, that's how, I have a personal relationship with Yeshua. I'm not a very religious person, but I have a personal relationship with him.
You could see the signpost, Doc, huh?
And I have also a personal relationship with my guardian angel, because we have guardian angels.
Yeah.
I have, it's like an interaction, a conversation, It's not a one-way thing. Anyway, around June, I had a dream. In the dream, I saw the US dollar bill. But there was a stamp on it. It says new version. And right away, I knew that there will be a global economic reset. In fact, there will be a global reset, not only economic. There will be a reset in personal lives. There will be a reset in systems, in governments. But specifically, there will be a global economic reset. So I organized a Facebook group. It is now more than 100 members. It's called New Economy Explorations. And that Facebook group, there are now 4 subgroups working on different projects. So that is my answer to your first question about what is the new normal to me. The new normal is not something that I'm going to wait to happen. No, it is something that I'm going to contribute to make it happen.
Yes, Doc. You talk about this, your life mission and the reset. Given the pandemic, and it's been a year already, how Dr. Talisayon can still contribute in ensuring that in the reset, we will have a better future, better economic gains, better policies, and better government response.
Okay. The book previous to the one that was released last January was another ebook that we are giving away for free. That ebook, the title of that ebook is Follow Your Creative Pathway in Pursuing Your Next Life Mission. It was started about 3 years ago. And I was ready to write it because I have lots of experiences. And these are not religious doctrines. No, I don't go for those things. I go for empirical data. I'm a scientist. It must be based on empirical data. So I have collected all of this and I'm ready to put together a book. And then, as I said, I got an instruction from upstairs. No. There are going to be many authors in that book. So I said, okay, all right. So what I did is I put together friends from here and abroad, because I have many friends abroad also. and I have about 30 or 35 of them. I created a website, and we contributed life experiences towards that ebook. And then after we have done that process, I said, there is something missing. So I organized a second group. Again, went through the whole process. After the second group, I ended up, there are 8 people, including me, who really put the book together. They are the co-authors. And then there were 2 volunteer editors. And then the rest are around 30 plus from around the world are contributors. So this book came out last June, last year. It's given away for free. And it's based on life experiences. It's based on empirical or scientific data. And it is something that can contribute towards how to face this new normal.
Yes.
Because this is your question is both a question to governments as well as to individuals. But you know, for the ordinary individual who have no position in government, they cannot do anything at this level. So they can only do it at the personal level. So this book is addressing the personal level. What can you do? You don't, you know, if you will just complain in Facebook, or you know, you complain and you get angry and so on, nothing will happen. You just put yourself in a very negative emotional atmosphere. So you're the loser. So you have to do something positive and constructive at your level. That is what the book is for.
Yeah. You're the role model for junior academics, and your books has been read by different academics around the world and have been their guide in their theoretical perspective. As a senior citizen, let's talk about you as a senior citizen, Dr. Talisayon. What's your words of wisdom for your fellow senior citizens on how to adapt to this new normal?
One of the studies, again, you know, I want empirical studies. One of the studies is interview of people who are dying. And you know what? They have regrets. I should have done this. I should have done that.
That's correct.
This is a study that should be read by seniors. Because if they are seniors, they are, you know, I know I have a joke. You know, we are travelers. We are in the pre-departure area in an airport.
Close po yung airport ngayon, Doc. Just kidding.
Anyway, since we are in a pre-departure area, there is less time remaining. You know, they should look at those things that they don't have to regret when they go. That's one of my advice. Because according to studies, again, I want empirical studies.
Yes. No.
Most people who are in their deathbed are people with regrets. And the regrets can be summarized into around 3 or 4. So look at those 3 or 4, because those 3 or 4 are related to the 4 creative pathways in the other ebook. See, so they can spend the remaining years of their lives doing things in order that when they go, they will have no regrets.
Yes, Doc. As a guru in technology management, as the father of knowledge management in the Philippines, how technology can assist our senior citizens in adapting to this new normal?
Okay. We are in a lockdown. Our mobility is less. We cannot travel as much to other countries. We cannot even travel to the next city if we want to. And here in my place, there is a curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. No, okay. So people interact through the internet. Like now, we are using Zoom. No? So the first thing that they should do if they are not familiar is to learn how to use these technologies. Zoom, it could be Google Meet, or these are the two popular ones, Google Meet and Zoom. No, so that is my first advice. If they are continuing to be active professionally, do that. Be active professionally, including all the skills and technologies in your profession. Because, the word retirement is a very bad word, because it is a word that creates a mindset that is very, very, A, unproductive, B, it leads to inactivity, it leads to passivity. My joke is this: if I had retired and then all I do is eat, sleep, watch TV, I will get sick.
Yes.
So in 2008, or even before, when I retired in 2008, I said to myself, I will remove this word in my consciousness. I am not going to stop working. When you retire, you're at the peak of your human capital, your human assets. You're at the peak, and then suddenly you will detach that from the market. So it's a lose-lose. You lose, and the market loses.
Sure.
No, so I removed that mindset, and I have a consulting company. It's a very successful one. It's able to control up to now. It's able to control the KM market in the Philippines. No, you Google knowledge management in Philippines, two will come out in Google. It's either me or my company.
Yes, correct.
So continue to be active. That's my other advice. And whatever technology that you use in your profession, do that.
You mentioned about disengagement theory for retirees. What's your advice to your fellow academics who have retired, and how they can contribute?
Remove that word retirement and continue to be professionally active. That's my advice. When I retired with that kind of a mindset, I was busier. I was doing more work. But when I was employed, I have to follow the boss. Okay, this is what I have to do. These are the rules and so on. Now, after I retired, I'm the boss. I select what I do. And because of that, I'm happier. Because I do what I love to do. So I am more busy. I am happier. I'm more productive. And my income, never
Correct.
could even increase.
Correct.
The latest class in our online knowledge management practitioner certification course, it's the 20th class. We grossed over 1 million. Our net revenue is more than 500,000. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And it's a very successful course because we started in 2013. That's why we are very good in online thing. We have graduated more than 250 practitioners from 33 countries. It's very popular.
Yeah. Yes, Doc. As a KM guru and as the father of knowledge management in the Philippines, we are in the most challenging times in terms of our economy, social fabric, social political situation given the pandemic. How can the government optimize knowledge management technology in responding to this crisis?
One of the subgroups in the e-group, Facebook group that I mentioned earlier, is working on drafting a position paper to the Philippine government to create a new department, Department of Family Security. Because there are many families that lost income or reduced their income. Work from home and study from home is putting a lot of pressure on the family. Suddenly, the family is more dependent on internet. They are more dependent on power, on the utilities. So these utilities must serve the families. But these utilities are independent. They have their own, So this department should control all these utilities. This utility regulating. Anyway, we're preparing that. That's one. Because it's more a social problem than it is a technological problem.
Yeah, would you think it will replace the functions of the existing agency like the
It should
Department
not.
of Social Welfare, the National Commission for Senior Citizens?
It should not. So that will be the one concern. How will it complement this for example, families need to learn new skills or use existing skills, for example, for home-based export of services. So they earn dollars while staying at home. So there must be assistance provided to such families who are ready to work. They have the skills, but they have no marketing connections abroad. They have no. So these are the things that has to be crafted. No. So I am guiding the subgroup that is working on this.
If you're the president of the republic, given the situation, you have a GDP that is low, very low. You have the GNP rate that is around 3% compared to other ASEAN countries, which is now rebounding given their economic gains after the COVID-19. You still have the surge of COVID-19 cases until now. We're in the last in the queue in vaccines. What will you do?
Unang-una, that is not a very good hypothetical situation. Maybe if the next president will seek my advice, then what will be my advice? Maybe that's a better hypothetical question.
Okay.
But still, it's a very big question. I have not asked myself that question because that is far beyond my.
Yeah, I think let's put it this way: if the next president will get you, for example, if he will reverse this, if he will repeat the situation with President Ramos, and we have a new candidate and president, what will be your first advice to him?
Oh boy. When I was under President Ramos, I was in charge of a group of 30 people. These are experts. They do policy briefs for the president. There are experts on the Middle East, experts in economics, experts on China. They speak Mandarin, etc. There are experts in ASEAN, all over, 30 people who are very good here. And their customer is the president.
Yes.
They produce policy briefs, These are advice depending on what is emerging or analyzing events in order to give the president either guidance or answer to his questions. And, all of these are urgent, due next morning. So you're asking me to repeat that. So my first advice is to gather the best brains of the country, because no single person knows everything. In KM, the best source of knowledge is a group, a network. The more diverse the network, the better, because they know a lot of things as a group. if there is such a group that is dedicated to the country, then that they can be organized into a kind of a think tank that the next president can draw from. That will be my advice. Create a think tank of very patriotic, very well-meaning, very intelligent people on different specializations that will be at the beck and call of the president, and that can give the president the best and latest advice on any topic, because it's a network of like a think tank network. They don't have to be physically in Malacanang. They can stay where they are in the Philippines, because right now we are using Zoom, so our location has nothing to do with what we're doing. So that's my first advice. It's a KM advice. No single person knows everything, and sometimes, not sometimes, very often, the ideas of a person is not all correct. Who will correct the person? Another one who has a better idea or has empirically validated idea. So a group is better than a single person.
You're talking about a group. We have an IATF, which is a group. If you could receive a call right now today with an IATF, what's your first advice to the IATF? Because we are now in the crossroads. People are anxious. People are really don't know where we're going, given the surge in the COVID-19 cases.
What is IATF?
The Interagency Task Force for COVID-19.
Oh, they have a very specific job. It is to guide the decision of the president on a very specific issue, which is the pandemic.
So if you will be consulted, what will be your advice to them?
Well, maybe create a parallel IATF, but they will not look at operational issues. They will not worry about what to do tomorrow. They will worry about what to do in the next 10 years. In other words, if IATF is an operational task force, create a parallel task force that is strategic task force. They will leave the day-to-day worries to the IATF, but they have to go beyond and look at the next 10 years.
Yes.
Wider, it's a wider view. Strategic IATF. Beyond the pandemic.
Strategic IATF.
Yep.
Lastly, Dr. Talisayon, your words of wisdom for your fellow senior citizens to be successful in old age.
Well, know what is your purpose. If you are not clear about your purpose, after you leave your work, when you retire, that ugly word, retire, suddenly you have let go of an important purpose. But what is your life purpose? Not your career or professional purpose. What is your life purpose? They have to be clear, because if a person is not clear about their purpose, all the other decisions will be haphazard, will be aimless. It will have no direction. So what is your purpose? What is your life mission, in other words? People have to have a good answer to that. If they don't have a good answer, then they will just live on a day-to-day basis. And their decision will be, okay, what is the best thing to eat for dinner? What do I do tomorrow? They will just be condemned to do those very small decisions until they die. And then when they are in their deathbed, they will begin to think about their entire life, and then they will be forced to think about the big picture. And then they will have regrets. Oh boy.
Thank you. We have here Dr. Serafin Talisayon, the KM Father of the Philippines. Thank you so much for joining our research. Daghang salamat po, Dr. Talisayon, and stay safe.